There is a kind of silence that is louder than noise. Not the silence of peace, but the silence that comes after prayers have been prayed, tears have been shed, and nothing seems to happen. You asked, you waited, you believed, and still, no answer, no sign, no breakthrough, just quiet. And in that silence, doubt begins to speak. Did God hear me? Did I pray wrong? Did I miss something? Am I being ignored? We rarely talk about this part of faith. The part where God feels distant, where heaven seems closed, where the familiar sense of His presence is suddenly gone. But silence does not mean absence, and delay does not mean denial. Some of the deepest works of God happen in the seasons where He says nothing, because faith that only survives when God speaks loudly is not yet mature. There are moments when God answers immediately, and there are moments when He trains your heart to trust Him without explanations. Think about it. A seed grows in darkness. Roots form where no one sees. And if growth made noise, we would never doubt it. But God often chooses silence as the environment for transformation. When God is silent, He is not inactive. He is positioning. He is aligning. He is preparing outcomes. You are not yet ready to see. You want answers. God wants endurance. You want clarity. God wants character. You want speed. God wants depth. And depth is formed slowly. Silence forces you to stop relying on feelings and start standing on truth. Because feelings come and go, but God's promises remain. Some of you are discouraged, not because God has left, but because He is teaching you to walk by faith, not by sight. You were comfortable when you could feel Him. But what happens when faith must survive without emotional confirmation? That is where trust is refined. That is where belief becomes conviction. Even Jesus experienced silence. In the garden, He prayed until His sweat became blood, and heaven was quiet. On the cross, He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And there was no immediate answer. Yet that silence was not abandonment, it was fulfillment. The greatest victory in history was surrounded by silence. And 3 days later, the silence broke. Resurrection followed. So, if God is silent right now, it does not mean the story's over. It may mean you are in the middle. And the middle is always uncomfortable. The middle is where faith is tested. The middle is where quitting feels reasonable. But hear this: God's silence is never empty. It is full of purpose. Sometimes God stays quiet because He is answering you in a way you don't expect. Sometimes the answer is not a voice, it's a process. Sometimes it's not a miracle, it's maturity. Sometimes it's not a change in situation, it's a change in you. You asked God to use you. You asked God to grow you. You asked God to strengthen your faith. And now you are in a season where faith must stand without reassurance. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Do not confuse silence With rejection, do not measure God's faithfulness by how loud His presence feels. The teacher is always quiet during the test, not because He doesn't care, but because the lesson is already within you. So keep praying. Even when it feels pointless, keep obeying. Even when it feels unseen, keep trusting. Even when it feels risky, because God is closer than you think. He sees the tears you don't post. He hears the prayers you can't finish. He knows the weight you carry silently. And when the time is right, when your heart is ready, when the moment aligns, God will speak, and His voice will make sense of the silence. Psalm chapter 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Until then, stay faithful in the quiet, because silence is not the end of the story. It is the place where faith learns to stand on God alone